Did you know that if you don't like your teacher, if you think that the class is too hard, you can get them fired? And I'm not talking about high school, I'm talking about college, your college professor. That's what we just learned. Let me tell you about it. NYU, typically known as a pretty good college, just fired a teacher, an organic chemistry teacher. Very difficult class, organic chemistry. Why did this teacher get fired? Because I think it's 82 students signed a petition saying that the class was too hard, that the teacher was not giving them extra credit opportunities, and that he taught with a condescending tone. Now, this wasn't just any teacher. This teacher had been there for many years and had literally, they wrote the textbook for the class. This was not an amateur. This was not some substitute teacher. This was a qualified professor who wrote the book on organic chemistry. He wrote, from what I heard, 5 books on organic chemistry and was teaching this class. But 80-something out of 300-something students signed a petition and got the teacher fired. The teacher's response was, this just isn't true. It's not that the class is too hard. It's that they're not showing up to class and they're not watching the videos they're supposed to watch. Now, you think there'd at least be some debate on this. The teacher could say, look, here's what I'm doing. I've been teaching this class for a long time. It's been working. Here's what I'm doing. Here's who's not showing up. Here's their grades. Something along those lines. They just fired the teacher. That's terrifying, because that sets a horrible precedent. Because what's going to happen now? Teachers are going to be scared to give too much work. They're going to be scared to make classes too difficult. And they're going to think they can't use a stern tone with the students. I'm a teacher. Guess what? Students fail my class. My class is not a hard class. I teach 3 classes in the shop. All right? 3 different curriculum. And if you show up and you just do your work, which I give you plenty of time to do, you pass my class. And guess what? Students still struggle in my class. And I shouldn't say struggle, because struggling implies that you're trying and having difficulty with it. I have students who just don't try. They'd rather skip class, sit there on their phone the whole time, or just talk with their friends. Again, I'm a high school class that I teach. Not very difficult. It's not about difficulty of the class. Yes, some classes are harder than others. I've taken hard classes before. In college, I took kinesiology, exercise physiology, anatomy and physiology. All right, I took hard classes. And I did great in them because I worked my butt off. Now, in high school, completely different story. In high school, I didn't have the work ethic in school because I was delivering newspapers at 4 o'clock in the morning, then going to school, getting out of school, going to work, and sometimes going to another job after that. So in high school, my focus wasn't on the school. My focus was on staying awake at school because I was so tired from being up at 4 a.m. and then having to go to work after school. All right, so I didn't put in the work I should have put in. And let's see, I failed biology, and I almost failed Spanish. I don't know how I passed it, but it wasn't the teacher's fault. Yes, the classes were hard, but it was my fault. I wasn't doing what I needed to do. I wasn't paying attention during class because I was exhausted, and I wasn't doing homework because I was going to work. Those are choices that I made. And yes, I felt I needed to do it at the time. Don't need to get into my background. My family did not grow up with a lot of money. I'm driving a 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan right now, so as you can see, I'm still not loaded because I'm a teacher. All right, but I made choices. When I got to college, I took it more seriously. I was still working. I was still doing newspapers in the morning. I was still working after school. But I was more interested in it, and I put the effort in because I decided to go to college for that. You decide to go to college, you're accepting the workload. All right? You can't sit here and whine and complain, oh, this class is too hard, I'm going to get the teacher fired. That's somebody's career you just ended. That's what these kids don't understand. They just ended somebody's career. A qualified teacher who had been teaching for many years, again, who had literally written the book, they whined and got the person fired. That's not okay. That's why we're not a pure democracy in this country. A majority rules, because people go into bully mode. You do something they don't like, oh, we'll just all complain about it and get taken care of. It's cancel culture, but in colleges for professors now. It's pretty messed up. And I would love to see this professor be able to file a lawsuit of some kind. Or I hope they hire a new teacher who's even more, makes the class even more difficult. Because these students need to learn a lesson. okay? It doesn't make any sense. I don't care how hard the class was. Again, I've taken hard classes before. You talk about it. Talk to the college, talk to the teacher, talk about what's going on there, and come to a solution. Maybe the solution is you get your butt up and you do your work. Maybe this is an extreme class and the teacher, for some reason, isn't working with students like he should. So address that and deal with it. You don't go right to getting somebody fired. That's like somebody tells a joke you don't like, you end their career. It's not the way things are supposed to work. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to know yours. Let me know below. Have a great day.